This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat, I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, episode number 3686. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack, drinking and John.
All right, here we go. Believe it or not, Colorado farmers get busted after stopping rain from falling from the sky. Meanwhile, an Ohio woman goes to Yellowstone Park and finds out that a bison can make her fly. Las Vegas is now making it illegal to let Elvis ruin your life. Woman who crashed semi through boyfriend's trailer will probably never be his wife. And a California man sets a world record eating Carolina Reaper peppers. He ate them and got disqualified. And then he did it again on his second try. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, summertime. Summertime. With Memorial Day weekend having come and gone, the unofficial start to summer is in full swing. And what screams summer more than people in the water? Well, I'll tell you what screams summer more. Things going wrong for people in the water. Last week, a Royal Caribbean cruise ship smashed into the pier that it was attempting to dock at in Jamaica. She pointed out the ship. It's one of the biggest in the world, and it weighs 227,000 tons. That's a lot of weight. By comparison, other things in the ocean, the average bottlenose dolphin weighs anywhere from 330 to 1,400 pounds. And a particular dolphin named Nick, seriously, has officials in the United Kingdom warning beachgoers to steer clear of him because he is, and I quote, sexually aggressive. But Nick is a dolphin in the wild. Sundance the dolphin, on the other hand, that's a trained dolphin at the Miami Seaquarium. That doesn't mean that Sundance is above slapping a bitch. During a performance, the dolphin's trainer accidentally scratched the top of his head. Yeah, it turns out Sundance don't play that. He started ramming his trainer until she was able to escape out of the tank. But sometimes you don't even need to be in the water for things to go wrong. Sometimes the water, it'll come to you. In Northern California, 2 hikers, they were swept out to sea when a giant wave came crashing onto the trail. There's all kinds of water-related headlines out there. Parasailors whose lines were severed and left to float on their own. A dude in Florida who was attacked by a gator when he tried to retrieve a Frisbee. Or the French daredevil, Frankie Zapata, who plummeted 50 feet into a lake when his jetpack malfunctioned. I think you see where we're going with this today. We're talking all about the big drink. So today's question is, what happened in, on, around, or because of the water?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
9 KISW.
Oh, but tell us, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3686. What a large and a charged program we have for you today.
You think so?
This beautiful Wednesday. Look out there. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, it's not raining. It's warm.
You feeling it? You feeling it?
I am feeling it, man.
This is it's going to be a big show. Guaranteed future repeat. Exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find negative stories in the news, which I'll be damned. I mean, when I read the news, it's nothing but happy unicorns. And
I actually get sick of all the good news that I'm inundated with.
But you find
every day I get up and it's like good news. People love each other, and I'm like, I'm sick of it. It's like waking up on the set of Barney every day.
Yeah, I swear to God, every time I come in, we come back for the weekend on Monday. It's like, I didn't look at the news for 2 days. That was awesome.
It was. Seriously.
By like 10:30, we're pissed. We're just sitting there like, Jesus Christ, what happened? Come on, people.
And you forget about it, like the long weekend, 3 days, just one extra day, but it never crossed my mind to watch and or look up news. But on days that we work, the first thing I do after yelling at the kids, scratching my testicles, and getting a cup of coffee is sit down in front of the computer. Not always in that order. But sit down in front of the computer and just start going through. And you open it up, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm in a bad mood already.
These are not even...
It's 7:45, and I need a drink.
These are not even close to the worst of how it could be.
These stories...
You never bring up people who die.
No.
You never bring up things that are troubling as far as it involve taboo things, as far as...
Well, these
bad things that happen to people who do not,
it's not
deserve it.
It's not the worst.
That's what I'm saying.
I tried to avoid that, because when we initially did this, I would tend to go for the worst, but I realized by the time we're done with the segment, everyone's depressed, listeners depressed.
I mean,
so today, it's not, today, these stories aren't even necessarily bad. It's more of a unnecessary.
It is.
None of these needed to happen.
When I started making the little memes that we put up there on social media, that was earlier on in the days of this segment. I remember that there was one time you brought those stories in and I read them and I got so upset by these stories. When I saw you walk back in, I opened my studio and shouted, the next time you have 3 horrible stories like this, warn a guy first.
So how are we looking today?
Like I said, all of these stories, they're so stupid. They're just unnecessary. You will giggle in spite of the fact that everyone did something wrong, but you'll chuckle at each one because it's just dumb.
And also, don't forget, as we do every Monday through Friday at 6, we'll jump on over to the Odyssey app for the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively. We're one of like 5 shows, I think, in the entire company that stays late and does this.
I heard 4.
4? One of 4 shows.
4.
In the entire company. We're not sure who the other 3 are, and they don't know who we are either.
Right.
Sure,
it is kind of weird.
Sure, they're...
Yeah, like, hey, there's only 4 of you. No idea who it is.
We have no idea what we're supposed to do. We just know we bring you the Men's Room Happy Hour Monday through Friday. It's more Men's Room is what it is. Yeah. And it's also explicit, to say the least. So please do not listen with your kids around. It's absolutely free. When you find the Odyssey app, download it. And then search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. We'll go live at 6 for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And coming up today on the Men's Room Happy Hour, I bought a 6-pack of Rainier Tall Boys.
Oh, very nice.
So that's where we're going to start. And then we're going to figure it out from there. So that's all we got right now.
Coming up, we got beer.
We're going to work on that.
I'm not even kidding. With the exception of Thursdays, that is how we plan the happy hour. We would need to at least have a 6-pack of beer. And then on Thursdays, we just add a bottle of booze.
Yeah, because that's how we start. We're doing Dirty Big Dummy.
Just Thursday?
Just Thursday,
Just
Mike.
Thursday. Because that's the day where,
Thursday.
It's a fun game we can all play. We can all just let loose. It's not like when we're really focused on the other days. We have to sit here and really concentrate, on bringing more entertainment. That's why we get the
Just
big bucks.
Thursday.
That's it. And today, on our question of the day, what happened in, on, around, or because of the water? There's all kinds of water stories. If you've ever been on a cruise ship, this is probably not something you would expect to see. Passengers were left terrified when a cruise ship crashed into a pier in Jamaica last week.
I don't know why I find it funny. I've seen the video. Like, nobody really got hurt, right? But
well, it's a big-ass pier that sticks out, and people are actually on the pier, and people are running for cover who are even on the shore, thinking that this boat's going to just keep coming through and crash into the side of the dock in Falmouth.
When you see a cruise ship coming into dock, and I only know this from the one cruise I've ever taken in my life, but where they dock, other cruise ships also dock. So when you're going through Europe, on average, like 3 or 4 cruise ships would be there. It's hard to tell when it's actually going to stop moving, right? Because it's this giant thing. It never really looks like it's moving fast just because of its size, but you'll stand on the edge, and then you start getting nervous, thinking like, man, is this bitch going to stop or what? But I don't want to be some candy ass haul off the pier and stop. But I mean, obviously I was not in a situation where one did crash, but every time I saw a cruise ship coming in, I thought for sure, like, this thing's about to crash into the goddamn dock.
Well, I think, though, if you're on a cruise ship that big, like, I wouldn't be worried if I'm on the ship.
Okay.
Oh, no, people on the ship are absolutely freaking fine, man. 227,000 tons.
Yeah, and it's a big ship. And if you've seen the video, the ship comes in, a guy blows his horn like, and then they basically just plow this dock over right here. You can see where the boats would come in. So it's right on the peninsula of this area here, Ted. And there's a thing that sticks out, and it's gone. And the horrifying clip, they say, that has over 500,000 views on social media, passengers can be heard screaming in fear as the huge boat approaches the dock. Royal Caribbean and the Port Authority of Jamaica have revealed that there were no injuries and the boat only sustained cosmetic damage. They say that the chaos hit the Jamaican port when the cruise ship failed to dock properly. This is one of the largest cruise ships, by the way, in the world.
Yeah,
bless you. The Harmony of the Seas is a huge, luxurious cruise line, which can house over 6,400 guests and has the world's tallest slide at sea. It's feasible that you could be single, be on a boat, and see the hottest person that you've ever seen in your life, and you want to see them again, and you can.
And you won't.
There's 6,400 people. There might be not a chance in hell you'll ever see them again for another 10. You could be out there for 10 days. Never see them again.
There are 2 places. And I realize that whether you wanted to see them again, entirely different. But I realized on the cruise, we had 7 days, maybe 2,400 passengers. I don't know. But it's a big-ass ship. There's plenty of people on it. There were a few people that I only saw once. But there are 2 spots that you'll find everyone. The pool. Like, when you go to the pool, everyone on that cruise ship, you're like, yep, seen them before. And certain bars.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys I met, this guy Dale from Australia.
Dale.
I met him maybe 3 days into the cruise, but he was well aware of who I am. Not related to this show, but as one of the guests on the boat. He's like, I knew I'd meet you in here because you always come to the Irish pub. I said, if you know that I always show up at this Irish pub, that means you also always come to this Irish pub. He goes, I do. And then we hit it off. Still in contact to this day.
Yeah, that makes sense,
but
too.
everyone in that Irish pub,
and Australian, like...
Well, the nice thing
cruise
was,
ship, like, that's where I would hang out as the Irish pub.
Well, the thing is, they have like 24 different styles of pub, right? But I don't want anything loungy. I don't want anything clubby. Right. I wanted the closest thing, and I realized that every day in that Irish pub, you've become a regular at that bar. Yeah, everyone in the Irish pub were the same people that went to the Irish pub. My wife would go dancing with her friend, and everyone in that dance club was the same people. What's good about that move, by the way, this is just a pro tip from the cruise world, if you keep frequenting the same bar out of all the options, they start hooking you up with deals that they're not supposed to give you. Because they know you, they know what you like to drink. You know what I mean? That was my go-to.
So I think it's the same thing visiting a city.
If you
right? Like
keep
if you're
going
like
to the same
if
spot.
the four of us went on a trip and we're in some city and there's like all these famous bars or breweries, like we'd run into the same group, another group of like four dudes that are doing the same thing.
I'm just saying,
exactly
this woman walks by in a bikini and you have to see her again.
Well, that's why you have to stalk them,
You
Miles.
never see them again.
Man, oh man. Hey, just one quick note about cruises. Depending where you go, I know we have more body image issues, say, here in the United States than in places like Europe. And a lot of people have a lot of things to say about body image issues. That's a good thing. Europeans don't care, and sometimes they should have. I just, look, there's no nice way to say this, man. I mean, there were people, they're sunning themselves out there at the pool, and I'm like,
sure.
Oh my God. Like, look, if you got a body image, good for you, right? That means you're trying to do the right thing because other people have to see you. I know how this sounds and I do not care. Having seen this with my own eyes on this cruise ship, and that goes back to, you go down to the pool, everybody's down to the pool at roughly the same time, and the same people who you hope to never see again, at least in a bathing suit, kept showing up, man, and you can't take your eyes off of them because you cannot believe that this person is that comfortable like that.
It's like that story you brought us this week. We did not include, but we might as well talk about it. The guy in St. Petersburg Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Who was walking along the beach. He had a banana hammock. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah, he pulled it out.
Yeah.
And made eye contact.
The description was it was tanned like his skin. It was 7 to 8 inches and large. And tanned like his skin. Tan.
Think about that. Same hue. In Florida. That means my man's son's naked a lot.
A lot.
Right.
Because your unit should be a little bit
I don't care who you are.
It shouldn't be as tan as you.
No.
Never.
You can be black, white, doesn't matter. Your penis should be a lighter skin tone than the rest of your body.
Copper tone girl when the dog pulls down her pants.
Right.
And it's white.
It's not darker.
She doesn't normally walk around without pants on.
Which is a good thing.
So our question, what happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, here's one quick comment. I don't know if this is what we expected, but this is what came in. I can't read it as is. I once saw a blonde girl's brunette vagina because the water snatched her swimsuit bottom. I need you to read how they sent it in. In other words, he thought she was blonde. But then when the wave snatched it away, he's like, oh, brunette.
Well, see, I think that it's a very small percentage of people that are actually blonde.
I know,
of
but
course.
I think she had a good job done up top. Then he's just, the water exposed you.
There was a really, really attractive girl at a bar, and I was in Ohio visiting my friend Pat. He was single at the time, and he goes, watch this. This works every time. And he walks up and he goes, you have such beautiful blonde hair. Why do you dye the roots black? And she just knocked him. I mean, she slapped him so hard. That was the guy who made a comment in Chicago at the bar. He is so stupid. So, of course, then we got kicked out of there.
Oh, he did that in Chicago?
No, that was a different place.
Oh, okay.
That was in Ohio.
I wouldn't call him stupid. It just sounds like he's an a-hole who doesn't care.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
When you set it up with, hey, watch this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You can't feign ignorance after you go, hey, watch this, man. I'm going to really go burn this chick.
Hey, real quick. We're talking about what color we believe your penis should be compared to the rest of your skin. Somebody here says, I'm mixed. I can pass as white, but not my unit. It's darker.
All right, yeah.
You got a big, dark penis.
Mine's darker.
How many times do you have to explain? I mean, because if somebody thinks you're white, right, but you're
I guess
mixed,
it's the same
and then
color.
you drop your pants, and you have like a black man's penis on a white man's body, does anyone ever comment? I'm just curious. Like, well, hey, I didn't expect that.
I don't know.
You know, a lot of people have like, if you got weird nipples, like, look, but when I pull off my shirt, I don't want you
My
to
penis
freak out.
is the same color as the rest of my skin.
Actually, the next break, I'm going to go look at my penis in the bathroom.
Is yours lighter or darker?
I would assume it's lighter. I mean, I'm not selling my
I think
dog.
they're a little darker.
I think so, too.
I think my, like...
You mean
Mike,
in
is your
general?
penis darker skin than the rest of your skin, or is it lighter?
No, it's pretty close to the same.
It's about the same, yeah.
I mean, it's...
I think it depends on what he's doing,
Okay, but
too.
here's the
If
difference.
he's all fired up, he seems a little redder.
But here's the difference right now. There's no sun right now.
Yeah.
So all of us look the way we've looked since September. This cat in Florida, they pointed, I mean, it's Florida, so you're tan anyway. She pointed out that his penis was still
the same
as tan. So, we're starting from scratch. He's already tan. That means his penis is out all the time.
Okay, but doesn't that mean that our canvas is blank at this point? Like, it should all look the same.
We haven't got
for the most part.
Check it
It's
at
not
the
tan.
end of the summer. When we go to paint in the grass,
not in Florida.
at the men's room happy hour and a half, we're going to pull out our penises and let you decide if any of us have gotten a tan.
Noodle tan.
Tickets are on sale now, KISW.com.
That's right.
And we'll do it when Bush is playing, so it'll be like a... Yeah.
Okay, someone here says, white guy here. My junk comes pre-tanned and is darker than my white skin. Really? Everyone else, I'm white. Everyone says I have a purple penis. Well,
yeah. That's where I was kind of going. Like, technically, it's darker. I don't know if it's a better hue.
Do you think Barney also? Just curious.
He's got a white one.
He's got a white one.
What is Grimace?
I don't know.
He's a taste bud.
No, what is he?
Are you being serious?
Yes. He's a taste bud.
Grimace is a taste bud?
Because I looked up some questions for Big Dummy as well. Grimace is a taste bud.
A taste bud.
He's a taste bud.
That's the sexiest mascot ever.
But milkshakes, right? That's his thing. Isn't it?
I don't remember.
No, I think his thing is milkshakes.
I know he's a taste bud and he's purple.
What I mean is like the fry is the fry guy. The hamburger represents the burger.
Sure.
The fish. But I think he's the milkshake guy.
Okay.
Yes, I believe.
But he's a taste bud.
What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Buford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A question, what happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK. That's our question. Apparently, the only thing people don't talk about is their penis color.
Well, yeah, a couple people want to chime in. We were just talking about a story that's coming up, and one of the witnesses to a guy that exposed himself to this woman, she noted that his penis was as tan as the rest of
them. Also, it was a large penis.
It was a large
between
penis.
7 and 8 inches. Mm-hmm. And it was tanned like his skin.
Right. And we're saying it's Florida, right? So they've been getting sun for a while. So we surmised that, generally speaking, based on our theory, that your penis should be slightly lighter than the rest of you, because generally it's not exposed to the sun, right?
It shouldn't be just such a dramatic change in color.
I mean, it should not be a significant.
You know what I mean? It should be like, whoa.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a replacement.
But I'm changing my thought. I feel like it's darker unless you're tan. Then it's lighter.
Well, here's some of the comments that came in. It says, I'm mixed. There's a dark strip at the circumcision line. Yeah. Light above that, dark below, no lie.
Oh, so you look like one of those half and half cones.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like the soft serve ice cream.
Sure.
Let's see. Or someone else here. Oh, where's this guy's? If his unit was tan, that means you know that he's burned it at least once. I have no doubt about that. Somebody says, my buddy's penis looks tan as hell. He's white as hell. Don't ask how I know. And then finally, we have someone that says, I'm a blonde white guy. My dong is darker, and my pubes are dark. Most blonde people have dark pubes. They're saying blonde pubes is super rare. I don't think I've ever seen blonde pubes.
Interesting.
I mean, in a magazine I have, but never.
In the flesh?
Hold on. Going through the quick Rolodex here.
I mean, that's the only.
I don't think so. Not that I can, and I feel like I'd remember that if I saw.
That's the ride at the amusement park Ted gets on.
Right.
Yeah.
Ask him.
I think you could dye both.
What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Travis. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello. Thank you, gentlemen, for my dirt bike, and you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on.
I was going out shrimping with a buddy of mine. We were on the west shore of Guimas Island, which is the first island north of Anacortes. We were heading 40 minutes south, end of the summertime. I said, why don't I take a jet ski? He drove the boat. I took the jet ski. We spent the day out there. We headed home at 10 o'clock at night. I grabbed my life jacket. I'm just in my regular clothes. I don't tether myself. My buddy says, do it.
Wait. Hang on. You went you had the life jacket, but otherwise you're just wearing your street clothes?
Just wearing my street clothes with my life jacket.
All right.
And so we start heading back, and I didn't tether myself on because you can't fall off those things. I've never fallen off a jet ski. So I get right into the Whidbey Island Ferry channel and hit a wave, and I get knocked off that jet ski, and it just keeps going. It's blowing about 15 miles an hour, probably 4-foot waves, and the jet ski goes and goes and goes.
Doesn't it start to circle it at some point?
So the old stand-up jet skis were made so that the handlebars would turn to the side and it would do circles. Well, with big waves, they will go whatever direction the waves take them.
Okay.
So this is 10:30 p.m. My buddy is already back on the west shore of Guaymas Island, and I'm out there trying to get this jet ski. So about 5 minutes later, that thing starts to circle back. Somehow I was able to grab the back corner, got the jet ski, got back on it, rode underneath the Washington State Ferry, underneath, because at the ends are tapered, actually rode right underneath the edge of the ferry, headed back to the beach, and he was literally just picking up his phone to call the Coast Guard. We had another buddy that was out there. He got lost and sucked the rope into his impeller.
Oh.
We made it. We got plenty of shrimp. Made it home safely.
Okay. How much do you feel like you weighed when your street clothes have been submerged in water?
I felt like I was dying.
Okay.
Even though I had a life jacket on, I still, with the current and the waves, I thought I had no chance.
Have you been jet skiing since?
Oh, yeah. I have one right down here in my carport. I ride it on the Snoqualmie River every summer.
Do they still have the ones where you, like the old stand-up units you were talking about? Because that's how I learned to jet ski. But
that's what I have. I have a 1989 stand-up jet ski 550.
Is it yellow?
It is yellow.
Okay, yeah.
Yellow and black checkers, actually. My dad custom painted it.
You could kind of kangaroo on those things a little bit.
Oh, you can submarine them. You can
it's great.
360 them. Yeah, you can also get hurt on them. So,
right, all those things and get hurt.
I've never been on one. Throw your chest into them. Pretty bad.
I've been on one.
You can break a collarbone pretty easily.
I've been on one once.
Like one of the stand-up, the old school ones?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
God, yeah.
I'm old, man. That's all there was.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was the jet ski. There were no other options, right?
What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
Quick comment here says, Ola, gentlemen, when I was in high school, I lived a block off of Bitter Lake and would go swimming in the summer. Well, one day I decided to swim from one side of the lake to the other. About halfway, Taco Bell decided to say hello. So right in the middle of the lake, I dropped my trunks and dropped a log in the middle of the lake. Well, on my way back, I made sure to swim a different direction so I would not encounter old Nessie. Rock on, bitches.
Never done that.
And that's when they called it Bitter Lake.
I've never used the bathroom that way in water.
I don't think I've ever pooped in the water.
No, my cousin pooped in the bathtub when I was in there with him one time.
Well, I mean, okay. That can happen.
But I didn't poop in the bathtub.
Right, you were both probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think we should cut this cousin some slack.
No, his cousin was 17.
That was traumatizing.
His cousin was 17.
Did they tell you they pooped, or did the poop just show up?
No, he picked it up in his hand and threw
God.
it in the toilet. That's like, dude.
Next time, just go sit on the toilet.
I mean, like,
there should not be a middleman.
I think I just kept sitting in there, like, like no big deal.
I'm like, I gotta go.
I
gotta go.
I don't.
You don't need a middleman between your ass and the toilet.
I don't think there was any rationale in a 4-year-old's brain at that point. Like, yeah, so what? He pooped in the toilet.
Just throw it.
But I never forgot it.
Never forgot.
I've never forgotten. It's just like one of those things that's burned my...
I'm going to get you...
I can't remember crap about being 4 years old. Can you remember anything? I can't remember. Maybe
I remember pooping my own pants.
Maybe a little bit of T-ball or something. I don't know. I can remember my kindergarten teacher's name. Other than that, I just remember Daryl picking up that turd and throwing it in the toilet.
Can you make like a specific request at the... who's the mint that makes everything to commemorate stuff?
Franklin.
The Franklin Mint. Like, look, man, I got a buddy. He doesn't remember a lot about being 4, but he has a vivid memory, right? Because they always do the never forget. So they can do this. They come in $1 silver coin for miles. Never forget this moment. 4 years old. Must be a hand holding a turd coming out of a bathtub.
And there was a billboard in Detroit that had the Stroh's bottle. It looked like it was pouring the beer all the time.
Right.
It was all lit up.
So we'll put those two things.
I remember. Like,
so one side is the Stroh's can, the other side is the
pretty
turd.
close to my house. I remember that.
The problem is the bathroom incident when you have siblings or little kids together. It only traumatized you. I bet the cousin doesn't remember.
Oh, he doesn't care.
Because there's a story with me, and I can't remember if it's like one of my siblings or one of my cousins, and I go, want to see a rainbow? And just started peeing.
My kids do it to me now. Do you remember that time, Dad, when you did that? God, I was so mad. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're not going to remember.
But to them, it was just the worst thing that a dad could have ever done, and they'll never forget it, and I can't remember for the life of me what the hell it is.
But it's the same with us. My buddy explained it great, man. His oldest is like 21 or 22 now, and he just said, look, dude, this is what I figured out about kids. There will be like 3 things in the course of their life when they live with you that you really, really remember, as far as what pissed you off or lost or whatever, right? But overwhelmingly, whatever. He goes, and you can bring up those 3 things, and for every one thing you remember, your kids have about 1,200.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, all you're going to do is mess up. That's it. At some point, stop caring.
What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Kurt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I joined the Navy back in 2000, and my idiot self didn't realize that maybe swimming might be an important skill to have.
In the Navy? Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. So in boot camp, they go ahead and do like a swim qual to see where you rate as far as like, are you a floater? Are you an Olympic swimmer? Of course, I rated about with the turds, so I barely floated. So one thing the instructor, when they were teaching you like some extra basics on top of floating and swimming and stuff, is that the Olympic swimmers are probably going to die if the ship goes and sinks, 3,000 miles from shore. But the guys who know how to float will just grab onto a piece of debris and then just float in the water. So at the end of boot camp, they go ahead and do what's called battle stations, where it's a simulation of a bunch of different scenarios, including one where you have to practice abandoning ship. So the premise is you get on a diving board that's like 2.5 stories tall, and then you jump off of that, swim to a little life raft that they have with a bunch of other people in it, and then a couple of the instructors are floating around simulating playing sharks and stuff. So I get the back of the line because I'm terrified of getting on this diving board because I still just barely float. And the instructor sees the terror in my eyes, the one doing the counting and then, having people jump off the diving board. So he lets me go, and he goes 1, 2, or he goes on 3, 1, 2, and then Spartan kicks me off the diving board. So I hit the water, and I'm screaming and flailing around, and he jumps in to simulate a shark attack. So in a panic, I kicked out my leg, kicked him in the jaw. Didn't realize it at first. A couple of the other guys in the life raft helped me get into the life raft, and I looked across the water, and one of the other swim qual instructor was checking the guy I just kicked, and he was mean mugging me so bad. And all I could think was, it's karma, dude. Like, it is karma.
He's like you're simulating a shark attack.
What would you do if you're...
That would be my response.
You're coming after me.
I'm going to flail. Right, I'm going to do everything I can to survive.
Fight back.
You look like you have 2 eyeballs in your head, buddy.
Right. That's what you should have done. Put your thumbs in his eyes.
Yeah, just pull that thing right out, man.
Punch him in the nose.
That's what I'm doing. If the shark ever attacks me, I'm going right for the eyeball, man. The first thing I do. Or I'm going inside through the gill, and I'm grabbing that damn thing in the inside. And
I've heard if you actually I'm
going to rip its gills out.
If you can get to the gill, they said that word, and it's not because people were trying.
Right in the gilly.
They were get his gilly, but some guy like scuba diving or whatever. It just happened the way the shark grabbed his leg. I think his right leg was in the shark's mouth, and it's shaking him around. His left leg is out, and he's just trying to do anything. Kicked it in the gill, and the shark was like, "Oh, my bad!" Instantly.
See, and if I ever go swimming in shark-infested waters, I'm going to carry a bucket of chum. That way, when he's coming after me, I can just throw it over.
That's the Miles theory.
Why didn't you just give him some other...
Chum, you can't do that.
Well, why don't you just throw him another fish? I mean, you hike with extra snacks for animals. You swim with snacks for sharks.
Strap a tuna on your back. Go swimming.
I have a different plan.
What's your plan?
I'm not sure
for the shark.
This is the only thing.
Other than the gill, what's your distraction method?
I'm going for the eyeballs. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to stick my arm either through that guy's mouth as far as I possibly can.
I think it'll help you with that.
I'm going to grab some on the inside, or I'm going to go through its gilly, and I'm going to take the gills and I'm going to rip them the F out.
You got to go for the gills.
Like I'm cleaning.
You're going to rip them out?
Like I'm cleaning a fish. You know what I mean? I'll just grab onto them because they just go, and then
the gills.
Yeah, I'm taking them out. I'm ripping them out.
I think if I get bit by a shark, I'm going to fight for my life.
I'm going to rip his eyeball out.
If I get bit by a shark, tell you right now, I'm going to bleed out and die.
Yeah, so I like to think I have a strategy. I don't know. Whatever my body will let me do at the time.
I don't live in the water. Like on land, and look, half the animals on this earth will rip me apart, right? I understand that. But on land, I know how to maneuver on that. Even if it's a chimpanzee, I'm only going to last 1 second against this thing. But I'm on land. I know land. The shark's like, bro, what are you going to do? You can't outswim me.
I'm going to try to jump on his back.
You can jump on the shark's back.
You know what I mean? Try to get like a full Nelson underneath the dorsal fin. It's kind of
all right. We're watching Miles put the full Nelson on the shark.
You know what I'm talking about? Just get underneath the gills, press his head down, try to choke his bitch out.
Well, at your eulogy, I'll say Miles lasted longer than we thought he would.
Because he thought he would jump in the water.
Right. What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
I don't think your arms are long enough to do a rear naked choke on a shark.
It's a makeup. It's a skinny makeup. Maybe a blue shark. I don't know.
Specifically a skinny shark.
And a half Nelson, you can hold him. You can't choke anybody with a full Nelson, Miles. Your hands are behind his neck.
Where are you going to choke a shark? How could you choke out a shark? Right?
I'm going to get in his skin. I'm going to get in. I'm going to get under his skin. I'm getting on his back. I'm going to get in.
Can you choke him? He doesn't breathe air.
No,
you still choke him. He's still suffocating.
Because he's taking the oxygen through the gill.
You got to.
And once you stop that, man,
But a huge part of like putting a choke on somebody is cutting off the blood to their brain.
That's what we're saying.
I'm getting there.
We got to figure out where you grab the shark.
I'm grabbing up into the gills.
Right.
I'm sticking my hands in there and I'm grabbing on. I'm pulling that crap out. I'm pulling the gills out. I'm physically ripping them out of the shark.
You're like a shark serial killer, man. It seems awfully brutal.
It does. It's a terrible way to die.
For a shark.
For a shark.
I feel bad for that shark.
What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-421-ROCK.
Not to get off topic, but real quick, a comment came in and says, I'm mixed. My penis is black, but
Jesus,
the tip of it is pink because I got circumcised when I was 20.
Oh, so it never saw the light.
So listen, brothers, if you're thinking about doing it, let it go. Otherwise, it looks like E.T.'s finger. You know what I mean? Like,
or it looks like a pig in a blanket.
I was going to say,
chocolate cookie.
Right. Got some crescent rolls and you baked it.
Right, with the hot dogs.
But the hot dog's sticking out the end a little bit.
Right, but I'm like, why is the crescent roll black?
Because you burned it.
And someone else says, I'm a white dude with a tan member. I always thought it was weird until today. Thanks. Yeah, bro, apparently you're not alone.
This is not talked about a lot. That's why we're here.
Got a weird tan penis. Hello, Bruce. Welcome to the men's room.
Brujas and tatas.
Hola.
Well, here we go. I'm out crabbing my 12-foot boat solo. I'm checking my gear. I'm 3-foot waves with white caps. And I drift over this Indian pot. A native pot was out there. And they carry a lot of weight in their pot to keep them on the ground there. And so I baited my pot. I threw it in. I grabbed old Johnson and gave him a yank and turned left really hard. And I noticed this buoy coming up on me. And pretty soon it hit the back of the motor and transom and flipped me over completely.
The whole boat?
I didn't have a life jacket on or nothing. And I see my life jacket and 5-gallon bucket with the lid on it, go drifting by in the wind, and nothing I could do. No life jacket, had knee-high boots on. So I always have a crab buoy on the end of my bow line. So I seen the crab buoy coming at me, so I grabbed it. Johnson's going down, the tip of the boat's up in the air. So I sucked that bow line in and pulled myself to the boat, dropped the bow of the boat, was upside down, and crawled up on top of it and floated around there for about 50 minutes.
Did someone else come and rescue you, I'm guessing?
Well, I called my buddy, my neighbor. He was crabbing that year, and I told him, hey, look, bro, I'm prop up, man. You got to get out here.
I like how calm you are. Hey, bro.
Hey, bro, it's yeah, man.
Yeah, come and get me, would you? I'm prop up. So I floated around. I actually called the county sheriff and told him what was going on. And
that's who I'd call first.
I'm taking 3-foot rollers over the back of the boat. You know, I still see the Indian buoy. Thank God it was holding me there, and so I wasn't drifting. So, you know, I'm just taking 3-footers over the back of the boat right in my face. And thank God I had one of those old Boulder flip phones that was waterproof. Otherwise, I'd have been screwed.
So if you get on a boat now, you putting on the life jacket?
I still don't know.
I had a feeling that was the answer. I don't know.
Were they able to tow your boat back to shore or anything?
Well, the good thing was, here comes this guy in a 20-foot Rhinell, right? So I'm waving my arms, I'm screaming. He just kind of glances over about 75 yards off me there, and he just grabbed the steering wheel and just turned, you know, and came at me. And he was out there with his wife and his 2 little young daughters, and we got the boat flipped over, got me on board, and he had a 5-gallon bucket, so we bailed it out and got a bunch of the water out. He gave me a tow back to the boat launch, which was, 10, 15 minutes away. Well, 10 minutes away. And his girls were crying, and I was like, don't cry. You guys saved my life,
How was the motor? Did the motor sink or did it stay on the boat?
It was still on the boat.
And is that
just the prop sticking up, prop and everything sticking up in the air,
I mean, I'm assuming the damn thing worked after you dried it out, right?
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of work to it, get in there with some WD-40 and roll it over and get all the, salt water out, pull the plugs and all that stuff. But
okay. Wow, you got lucky.
Man, sounds like too much maintenance.
All for crab.
By the way, Miles, someone here says the trick to incapacitating a shark.
Rubbing its nose.
Nope.
Rubbing the top of
No,
its nose.
they're right. It's just whether or not you can pull it off. They say the trick to incapacitate a shark is to flip it on its back, and it basically goes into a trance. It's just whether or not you can flip that bad boy over.
Right, I saw that in Jaws 3. They weren't in the water.
That was the 3D one.
Jaws 3 3D?
Yeah.
I just remember they were in the water park. I watched it at home.
Oh, you didn't know it was in 3D? It was in 3D at the movie.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was 3D.
You missed half the point of the movie. Things are coming
Ted,
at
that
you.
movie was not good enough to not be in 3D.
I'm saying, look, I've seen that movie. I've seen him flip over the shark and rub his belly. That's not going to work.
And by the way, real quick, penis. I'm white. I get a beautiful farmer's tan during the summer because I work outside. But my D, it's the same tan year round. I look pretty funny in the mirror.
What happened in, on, around, or because of the water? 206-4200.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
En Lowe's tenemos grandes inventarios disponibles en cientos de productos que los profesionales necesitan todos los días, como tejas, concreto, madera y más. Y ahora te los entregamos al día siguiente directamente en tu obra. Empieza hoy y ordena en línea o visita el mostrador para pros en tiendas. Disponible de lunes a sábado en artículos selectos en inventario solo en el área metropolitana de Charlotte, sujeto a disponibilidad. Para pedidos hechos antes de las 4 p.m. Más detalles en el mostrador para pros.